Hello my friends, this is part 2 of my wedding custom portrait. This video is going to be a little different just because we are on to the shading or rendering portion of this portrait, and that takes me hours and I cannot make a 4-hour video. I mean, I could, but I'm not going to. So today there will be jump cuts, it won't be real time, but I figured that I could ramble, we could sit, we could chat. It will be soft spoken, it will be an ASMR style video, so get a snack. I have some apples and a glass of water with me, and enjoy this time with me as I finish up this custom, and then soon I will move on to another custom which is just as cute. Happy New Year, my friends. This is a portrait that I was working on for Christmas of 2025, so I apologize that this video is a little late. Part 1 was the line work and kind of gridding everything out. So firstly, I had to erase the grid, any line work that was messy, didn't make any sense because we are refining, because it is time to shade and add some depth to this baby. But I figure while I work on that today, that we could sit and talk and ramble and kind of talk about the new year and what's coming up this year for me. And go ahead and comment below what's coming up for you this year. If you have any art endeavors or even just endeavors in general. You'll see these little comments come across the screen as we work through this video. I have a lot to say, and I couldn't remember to say everything that I wanted to say. So firstly, just letting you know that those are the Prismacolor graphites. I never touched those pencils the entire portrait. I really wanted to, but I felt like the pressing of the graphite was too compact and it didn't erase well. It really pressed into my paper. So when I went to erase some of my grid line work, which I did use the number 2 Prismacolor pencil for, it kind of stayed behind, and I really didn't like that. I am a Faber-Castell girl through and through. I have 2 different sets, you can see, so I'm using my blue set for most of the value. But I do have that green set off to the left, which you will also never see me touch or pick up. I don't know why I set those there. They're deeper values. Oh my god, I just hit my table. They're deeper values than some of my other pencils. I think they go all the way to a 6B, but I think the darkest value I actually did use was a 6B for this. Just me telling you about the paper and my glove. I actually think that might be an envelope. I was just grabbing garbage. I was using garbage to finish this piece. Anyway, I'm already getting distracted, y'all, and we're like 3 minutes in. I want to talk about resolutions. What resolutions are y'all rocking with this year? Because my list last year was very short and sweet. It was kind of, I don't know how to explain it, too typical. It was like, grow my hair out and go to the gym, and too vague to be attainable. But then when I did attain those things, it didn't really feel like I accomplished anything. And also I cut my hair. But this year I was very specific. But I'm not going to get into like the nitty-gritty of like my like mental health and like physical resolutions in here, because that's not what this is about. We're having fun. But an art resolution that I'd like to share with you guys is that I really want to try mixed media this year. It's been on my resolution list for like 3 years, and it's so simple, but I keep avoiding it because it's not quote unquote my style. So obviously graphite is my jam. I love it. I enjoy capturing realism and memories and just the beauty and intricacies of life. So I don't really enjoy abstract or impressionism or surrealism or anything that doesn't just like directly capture life. So this year, I really want to do a mixed media piece. And I have this vision, okay? Hear me out. Follow me. Walk with me here. Hold my hand. I have this vision this year to do a mixed media piece, maybe like an 11 by 14 with like bright, fun, vibrant paint markers, some realism thrown in there, but like in a still life style, and then collage with like cut up magazines, and then also use graphite for the realism sections. So there'll be like pop art with the bright colors, there'll be realism with the graphite, and then there'll be some collage with some magazine stuff. It would be totally not my style and totally out of my ballpark, and I would have no idea what I'm doing. But I think it could be a lot of fun, so I might make a video exploring that concept in a little bit. But it's gonna take me some time to move into new art coming up here, because exciting for 2026, I am moving. This is wonderful news. I currently live with my fiance, and we are getting married this year, and we are buying our first house. And I will have an art studio. So I'm moving into my art studio where I will be able to make more art, make stickers and cards and just some more stuff for my business. But in that space, I will be able to create all of this new wacky stuff that I've been wanting to make, because I feel like it can appropriately rot. Right now, if I start a piece and I just leave it out, it's in our shared space, and that's not really fair to him. So then I have to like put it away. So when I start a piece, I really have to commit to finishing it. And man, I really don't want to do that sometimes. So I'm trying to work on, like in 2026, I'm trying to work on my consistency in starting a piece and finishing it, and then also trying new media like markers. I've never used markers. I mean, obviously when I was a child, but not in a serious way. And I also want to try collage. There's a really good collage artist I follow on Instagram. Hold on, let me look him up for you. Give me like 1 second. I'm googling it. I'm looking it up. I have 3 Instagram accounts because I'm actually insane. I have one for my digital art, I have one for my traditional art, and then I have a personal Instagram account. And I do not remember what I followed him on, but he does like incredible work. Oh, it's gonna kill me if I can't find it. Oh, I found him. Okay, Fib Stuff. Y'all go follow Fib Stuff. He does the most inspiring like scenes with magazines and like recycled paper and stuff. Yeah, at Fib Stuff. Anyway, free little shout out for him, because his work inspired me for the work I want to create in 2026. But with moving into my art studio, I need to pack. I have I call it my craft hutch. I have this like big dresser armoire type thing filled with craft supplies that I desperately need to go through. Let me know if you want a video of that. You're probably like, why do I want to watch you do that? Some people really like organizing and cleaning videos, so I might make a video going through my art supplies. With that being said, it's gonna be a minute until I can make something new, and I don't even really know what I'm gonna make yet, but I should probably focus on the fact that we're actively working on a piece, right? As you can tell, this video is incredibly fast. Like I said, this took a long time, so I had to speed everything up. But right now I'm just working on like the deepest shadows, so this is going to be your 6B Faber-Castell, and really giving form to some of the organic shapes, like his hand and her sleeve and such. The camera angle keeps changing because I thought it would be cool and interesting, and I kept taking breaks because I was bored. I was really, really bored. And it's not that I don't love what I do, because I love drawing. When I get into it, I really zone out, and it's like I'm not watching anything. Most of the time I'm not listening to anything. It's actually silent. But sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need this to be over. I'm really tired and my back hurts. This unfortunately was one of those pieces where there's so much detail work that every time I thought I was done with a section, I'd be like, oh, okay, great. I guess there's a shadow below her elbow. Or every time I thought I was done with his jacket, there was a different, like, wrinkle that I missed. And I mean, I love making this piece. This is actually my maid of honor. So I am getting married in a few months here. This is my maid of honor, Hannah, and I was the maid of honor at her wedding. So besties for life. Love you, Hannah. Little shout out to Hannah, and her husband, Keegan. So she had asked me to make this portrait for them for Christmas, and I framed it in a kind of like tan birchy gray frame to match the wood tones from their wedding, because I'm just clever and sweet like that. But oh guys, I just remembered something I want to talk to you about. You're like, who, me? Yeah, you, listen up. There is a art club in my town, and they're starting a 100-day challenge soon. Like at the end of January, they're starting a 100-day challenge, and you have to pick a subject or a medium to work on for 100 days straight. What are y'all working on for 100 days? I really want to do it. I have a lot going on though. Like, I'm moving in February, but I really want to do it. But what the heck would I work on for 100 days? And you're probably watching this going, graphite? Here's the thing. People commission me to do graphite. I can't spend 100 days focused on that and then also receive commissions and try to get those done too. So I don't think it could be graphite. I think it would have to be something else. I do watercolor, like landscapes and cards, but wouldn't you get sick of something working on it for 100 days straight, right? I feel like it would have to be a skill that you truly know nothing about, and that you'd be learning about it for 100 days. So what the heck would I want to learn about for 100 days? Last year, there was this lady who painted clouds for 100 days. Like, every single day was a different cloud painting. She had a big wall of just clouds. I found that really impressive, but I also had like mild anxiety for her. Like, where are you putting all of these clouds? It was like canvas after canvas, and I think they were 8x8 or 6x6. They were not small canvases that she was painting clouds on. They were all the same. She's probably selling them. Probably has a little art booth. Come buy my little clouds. I don't know. She's a wonderful woman. Just, I don't know what subject I would even work on for 100 days. Does anything interest me that much to be working on it for 100 days? I am a woman of many hobbies and interests. What are your guys' interests? For me, I like reading, writing, drawing, digital art, scrapbooking. Oh, y'all. You have not lived if you have not made at least one good in-depth, like, scrapbook. I made a scrapbook for my fiance and I's, like, first year together a few years ago. And there is nothing more satisfying than when you go on a trip and you collect literal garbage. Now, the Instagram girlies, or Pinterest girlies, or whoever you want to call it, started calling it junk journaling, and it became a big thing. Okay, whatever. It's not junk journaling, it's called scrapbooking, and our mommies have been doing it forever. But it makes a trip so worth it when, like, let's say you drink like a really cool drink. I don't drink coffee, so I don't relate in that way. But you drink like a really cool drink and you steal the like cozy from the drink and bring it home, glue it into the scrapbook. Yeah. I got a scrapbook that didn't have sleeve inserts. It was just like you glued straight to the pages. It was just like actually almost like a sketchbook style with cardstock pages. I highly recommend that if you don't want to fully commit to the old style scrapbook with the insert sleeves and the matte borders, and that didn't really seem like my style anyway. I do like a junk journal scrapbook style, but I love scrapbooking. I love listening to podcasts. I know that's not highly considered a hobby, but sometimes I'll just sit and like watch a podcast, and that's what I'm actively working on and doing. My favorite podcast is The Basement Yard. They're so funny, Joe and Frank. I've watched them for years and years. They're becoming increasingly popular now, which, okay, I don't want to be that girl that's like, well, I was there first, but I was there first. And I started watching, what's her name? Mel Robbins? Is that her name? Mel Robbins. I started watching Mel Robbins, and then I bought her book, The Let Them Theory. Very repetitive. I don't know that I'm in love, but I'm trying. I'm trying to get into it because sometimes she brings people onto her podcast that are life-changing. She had brought on an astronaut, a female astronaut, and she gets hate every day about the fact that it's quote-unquote selfish that she wants to pursue this career when she has children because it's a dangerous career. It's very, very interesting. You should check it out if you just want to learn about jobs, careers, other people, ways to change the way you think. I like Mel Robbins for that. The Basement Yard, very funny. That was just very funny. It's very crass, I will say. Not something to watch with the family, but whatever. So I enjoy watching and listening to podcasts. This year I do want to spend less time on my phone, though. That is one of my biggest resolutions. And that's funny to say as like a literal graphic designer and digital artist, but I want to connect to nature. I want to go on more hikes. I want to draw more. And make more art, not just draw, like make more art. Like I was talking about the mixed media with the magazine collages. Because, so this past year in 2025, I made 5 graphite portraits. Love that. And they were all commissions. So I'm getting up there in the world. But in 2024, I was like super absorbed in my phone. And I didn't make a single graphite portrait in 2024. So, I feel like 2025 was just my catch-up. And now 2026 needs to be like redemption. Like I need to lock in. So, this year I would like graphite portraiture to be business, strictly, kind of. And kind of try my hand at different mediums for like personal pleasure. I got for Christmas from my boss, I got these new like Sharpie creative markers, I think they're called. They're paint markers. They're just like you ever use a Posca pen? They're like Posca pens. I got those for Christmas, and they're really inspiring me to do something like bright and crazy and fun, like I was talking about. But guys, my mind is blank. So if you have any ideas, let me know. And I know I've asked you a million questions, but if you're here right now and you're watching this, you obviously don't mind yapping. So leave a comment down below. I also mentioned throughout this video at some point to leave a comment about my toaster. Do that too. Why not? I'm asking you to write a friggin' book in the comments if you can. But I'm just overall, I'm very satisfied with the way that 2025 went for me in reference to art and design. This year, though, I really want to focus on getting outside. I want to focus on going outside and touching grass, because I spent a lot of time absorbed in what other people thought and not what I really wanted to do. So this year I want to kind of drive my attention to what do I like making, because my business has revolved around what people want me to make, literally and exactly, pixel by pixel. What is it that I want to make? When I think of something I want to draw, that's what comes to me. Bright, fun, pop art, collage. And it's something I've never done before. So am I suppressing what I really want to do and make? 2026 is the year for experimentation when it comes to creativity. And if you can get one thing out of this big yap sesh, I hope it's that you try something new this year, or even just expand on a skill that you lay dormant for a while. You know, if you used to write poetry when you were younger, I hope that you can pick up a journal and write something new this year. Or if you used to draw a lot as a kid and you kind of let it go, I hope you can draw something new this year. Or if you used to sing and have fun with that and sing with the radio when you were young, and you kind of let that go, maybe sing some more. Just kind of letting creativity come back into your life, because I know that even as a creative person, my career is creative. I'm a graphic designer. Sometimes I forget to live a creative life, and creativity sparks innovation, beauty, and invention. So if we dull ourselves and our light fizzles, then what are we doing? There's no history to capture. There's a creative life to be captured, and that's exactly what I'm doing when I do graphic portraiture like this. It's not just a keepsake, it's being able to slow down, take a minute, and really look at the small, tiny details of these moments. You know, I was at this wedding. Now, this is a commission I got from somebody I know, but I was at this wedding. I was there. I love being able to really look at how her tattoos sat under her sleeve, and how the details in her crown matched her dress, and the boutonniere on his jacket, and like these little details I never actually really picked up on in the moment or on the day, because the day was so busy. And I recently got a commission for a little girl holding a cat, and I can't say I've ever looked at a cat that long. I was working on it, and I'm just like, so that's how many whiskers they have. That's where their whiskers come from. Oh, you know, because why else would I be staring at a cat for 6-7 hours? You know? It's just eye-opening when you work on something like this and you really slow down and you force yourself to slow down. I think the equivalent of this, if you don't want to do something like this, would be coloring, and maybe doing like diamond art, I would say, is the equivalent of this too. Getting like a custom diamond art and going like a pixel by pixel. Just anything to help you slow down and appreciate the small details of those around you. Especially if it's people you know. But you can do still life and, you know, have you really looked at an apple? Have you really looked at a pair of shoes? Have you really looked at your fingernails? Have you really looked at a glass of water? Like, these little details in life are so beautiful. That's what I love about what I do. And in 2026, I really want to slow down and be kind to my nervous system. Like it's not a race. Like nobody's behind me with a ball of fire telling me to run. Like I can take it one step at a time. Oh, and I should mention, okay, so right here, I did have corrupted footage and I lost a big chunk of progress. But you didn't really miss much. I just filled in some of his hair and some of her sleeve, and so it's okay. You'll live. And you know, I've been yapping for a while anyway, so did you really want me to yap for another 10 minutes? Probably not. But you will notice that I don't work consistently on something like this. I'm very jumpy. I like to work on her sleeve, go work on something else, come back to her sleeve, go work on something else, gotta work on her sleeve again. I think I worked on her face probably, I don't even know. Guys, take a shot every time I work on her face again. Oop, here we go, take a shot. Because it's so important. You know, you could totally mess up the hands or the dress or whatever, but if their faces don't look like them, you're done. You're done. You might as well just give the money back, because who are these people, you know? So I spend a lot of time and a lot of detail work on faces. I think faces and overall shape are two of the most important things to me. Like, when I very first started this portrait, and we were doing like the sketching and grading, his right arm, his pinky is missing. Now my friend Keegan has all 5 fingers. I'll just let you know. He has all 5 fingers. It was just the angle of the picture, I think. But I could not in good conscience leave him with 4 fingers. So the form and the shape is really important to me. No, she can't glance at this drawing and be like, my husband with 4 fingers, who has never had 4 fingers. So I added another finger so that it was correct. It's little things like that, and it brings me joy too. I feel silly. I'm like, let's just give him another finger. Why not? You know? That's what I love about this. And in 2026, this year, I hope to do a lot more portraiture. I think since I've started, let's see, my very first portrait was in 2022, and it was my fiance, who at the time was my friend, and it was him holding his guitar, and it was the very first portrait I ever did, and I was just messing around, and that's when I discovered I could do this, and it was really bad. I still have it. It's still framed in our house, but it was really bad. But after that, I did a self-portrait and another self-portrait and another self-portrait, because, you know, the best practice you have is looking in the mirror. And I think since 2022, I've done a total of 18, is that right? 18 portraits? So that's crazy. And I own a total of like 3 or 4 of them. Every portrait I've done has been a commission or a gift. So my portfolio, my physical portfolio, is actually empty. I think I have 4 pieces. I have 3 of my fiance and 1 of myself. Because, you know, copyright free is the people around you. I'm not gonna go on the internet and draw strangers, because I personally don't find joy in that. I find it weird. I understand reference and Pinterest and, you know, PixArt or whatever, you know, all those like copyright free websites and stuff. I get it. I don't want to stare at a stranger like that for 8 hours unless it is a commission. Unless there's a real life person out there who will be overjoyed from the work I'm doing, I'm not gonna put all that time and effort into it. So it makes it really hard for me. So I find the most joy in doing people I know or commissions from the people who will see it and tell me about it. It's that gratification. So I never care for references online. And with that being said, I have 3 portraits of my fiance in our house right now. And one of myself, I don't know where the other ones went. I've done so many self-portraits and I lost them because I lived with my parents and then I moved in with my fiance. And I don't know where they went. So my physical portfolio is collecting dust. There's literal dust in it. But that's okay. Hopefully this year I can add to it. I want to do more work that I get to keep and not just give away. My big theme of 2025 was, I think, so 4 of the portraits I made I gave away. 1 portrait was a self-portrait and I kept. Nice! An artist who has no art. Who's impressed? Look at me being all meticulous with my little squishy eraser. Oh, can somebody yell at me for using a little eraser tip to do everything? I just recently saw that there is a it's like a mechanical pencil with that skinny little eraser in it. That right there, you see that? I need to buy that because watching me pinch that little tiny baby eraser is embarrassing. And I can't believe I did that for this piece. But I did get new blending stubs. I'm sure you saw that, my little cute note about my blending stubs. Skin and white clothing are very hard to do with a used blending stub. Now, a lot of the time I just cut them, like with scissors. I just cut them so that they're a blank slate and I could start over. But for this piece, I really felt like spoiling myself with brand new blending stubs. So I did. And the best tip that I ever learned about blending and blending stubs and stuff is that even if something is white, it's not actually white. And there should never be any white left on your paper when you are done. It makes for great realism. Like her dress and his sleeve, which are white in real life, are not actually white. So you can see me adding graphite to the background so that it looks white. Yeah, I'm a genius, y'all. Thank you, stop. This is an original thought. Anyway, we are done with this portrait. If you made it to the end of this video, congratulations. I know this was a long one and it wasn't that entertaining, but I do commission work and I figured why not share it? Maybe you picked up a graphite tip or 2 as I was working, or you just worked alongside me to get something done. Either way, I'm really glad you joined me during this time and I'm glad that I finally got this done. The shading portion took me 2 days and the sketching and grid part took me 1 day. So this commission is a 3-day project. Obviously it's a different day now, but I'm so happy with how it turned out and I think my friends will be too. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time as I have many more commissions to get through and I hope you have a wonderful day.